Hey, and welcome to the final level of Hollywood Holocaust in Duke Nukem 3D. So you can see, again, the start of this level tries to continue the theme from the last one, aka we were riding on the toxic river. As you can see, it's quite busy out here, and it's also flooded with toxic, which we obviously need to be very careful about. So I'm going to try and take down this turret here. Let's see if I can actually hit it. It's not so easy to hit when you don't have the crosshair on, but, you know, you choose to not have the crosshair, that's what happens. Blowing it up there, so we'll take care of this enemy here, kick you in the face. There's one inside here, you got to be careful, but you want to come in here because it's got the boots. Very weirdly atmospheric room, that one. So, the thing with this level is that it's all building up to that massive battle with the Battle Lord at the end of the level, which is the first boss of Duke Nukem 3D. That pig cop can't shoot us through the gate here, so also enjoy the pig cops while you can, because once we hit the second episode, they don't appear for a while. That's just the way that it goes, unfortunately. But once you come down into the canyon here, you can see that there are multiple directions that you can go in. And all of them have different things that you can grab, so it's actually worth taking the time to go around and explore. For example, come this way to the right hand side and you can grab the night vision goggles. Not sure why you'd want them, like they're only useful at one point in this level, I'd argue. But try and take care of you. Right. So, if you continued down the toxic river that we were sort of riding down, you'd have ended up down here. Now, you can see the river continues on, and there is something on the other side, but we can't get there right now. So we actually have to climb back up the toxic river here, which is what we're going to do. And there's still two more directions we can go in here. If you go along the cliff wall here, take out the enemy there. Got hit by the cactus there, nice. Cactuses can actually hurt you in this, so you got to be a bit careful with them. But if you come down here into this little cavern area, you will find a chain gun. Now, the thing is, it's kind of important that you grab these weapons because obviously there's a lot of enemies on this level, but also there's a boss that we've got to deal with at the end of the level, and he's pretty tanky, and you're going to be needing as much of that ammo as you can get. So, let's take care of you. So there are some pipe bombs there, which we're going to grab. I love how you can see the pig cop's eyes in the shadows there. Like, they look really menacing in the dark. So you can see we are actually above the area where we were just before, which is pretty cool. It's cool to see them making use of the vertical height in Duke Nukem 3D and sort of like having multiple layers. You can see the flame in there as well as the 2 atomic healths on the far wall. I am actually going to be going in there later on in the level, but that's a bit further down the line. Got to be careful here, it's possible to fall. Oh look, I'm showing you how to fall. Totally intended to do that, it was not a mistake at all. And I totally intended to show you that as well. Yeah, gosh. So, the thing is, like, with Duke Nukem 3D, Duke is very mobile, and you're able to sort of jump, and you're able to sort of crouch. So, a lot of these platforming sections aren't as tedious as they are in other first-person shooter games from this time. So when you walk up to this plaque here, it actually triggers a bit of an earthquake. So you want to sort of jump down the side here to grab the atomic healths. So as we head into this brand new opening, you can kind of see that it's the other side of that wall we were discussing earlier on. The part where I said we couldn't get to just now. And that's one thing I like about this level, is that it slowly unravels itself to you, and it sort of shows itself off very well. But we're not going to be outside for much longer, we're actually going inside the caverns here. And I've got to say, like, I love how the further you go into these caverns, the more otherworldly it starts feeling. So at the minute it sort of feels, you know, like you're just sort of exploring like a normal place, but as we kind of get deeper into it, and I'll start pointing out as we get there, there's a lot of areas in this level that I really love, and there's a general great aesthetic I feel to this level that sort of really kind of transitions well into the second episode. We're going to throw a pipe bomb down there to try and get rid of the enemies. There's a very big flame in the middle there. So I just want to see if I can reach over here. I can. There's nothing of value over there. But you can see there's a handprint on the wall there, which we can use to grab this RPG. The RPG is going to be very important at the end of this level, so going to grab this atomic health because we can't really jump from the bottom. This is a secret teleporter, and this takes us to that area where we were looking in on earlier on with the 2 atomic healths. Once we grab them, however, you can see that we get an octo brain for our troubles. Not too much to deal with. You got to use the rock there to jump up. It should be noted that if you have the jetpack, it is entirely possible to skip massive chunks of this level. Like, massive chunks of this level can be completely skipped right through. But because obviously we're doing this from pistol start, can't do that. So you can see that there's a hole out of here, but we can't fit in it, giggity. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to have to shrink ourselves down. And in order to do that, we've got to clear this puzzle. First thing I'm going to do though is hit this thing with my weapons. So when you come to this window, you can see that the wall over there collapses. Further earthquake. I used to have trouble with that as a kid because sometimes it wouldn't trigger properly, and sometimes like you'd have to stand there sort of hoping that it would trigger properly. So where that shot from, the green area, I'm actually going to show you later on what's up there, because there's actually a fun little secret from the editor of this level. But for now, let's just get rid of these octo brains. You can see there's quite a few of these on this level, so there's quite a few of them that we have to deal with, and I don't want them following me through the level because there's a bunch of them that we're about to encounter. But yeah, when you come into this like red cavern area here, it just starts to feel otherworldly. It doesn't feel like you're in LA anymore. It feels like you're actually kind of, you know, exploring something that you shouldn't really be exploring. And where I was shooting just now is the area which I will show you once we've completed this level, because I don't have the jetpack right this second. You need a jetpack to get to that secret. So we're going to head up here. So this is like an optional area. This is actually like a side cavern. You don't have to come this way if you really don't want to, but I personally find that it's fun to come up here because there's quite a few interesting secrets in this direction. And again, this is all completely optional. There's a little crack on the wall there. If you blow that up, you can head inside, and this actually leads you back to the start of the level, so you can actually circle back out here if you really have any reason to come back this way. Personally, I don't, but like, it's there if you want to. But there's another little secret here. If you look carefully, you can see a handprint there. Now, because this room's red, it actually doesn't show up too well, but in the N64 version, it does show up. And it leads to this
Holy shit.
absolutely fascinating secret here, with this lady here just absolutely raving out in this little cave around this fire. So, yeah. I don't know what this is. I don't know why they did it, but it's fun, and we're going to shoot her. Interestingly, as you'll see later on in the N64 version, we can't actually shoot her. Like, I think that's one of the few times we ever see a dancer in the N64 version, and that you can't interact with her or shoot her, so yeah. But we are getting pretty close to the end of the level here. You'll notice the red lighting is used to great effect here. Like I said, it just makes this whole area feel so unique and so interesting to explore. It's also really dark here, so if you kind of need to make use of the night vision goggles, this is where I'd recommend you slap them on. But here's where you actually get to see the alien spacecraft for the first time. It's so cool. Like the fact that like the level's kind of teasing you with it, and then you get to see it for the first time through like a crack in the window, and then you've got to continue on to make your way towards it. It's there's a nice escalation in this level of showing you like how big things are going to get, and I appreciate that. I think that the only thing I have against this part of the level is that it's quite difficult sometimes to actually see where you're meant to be going, because some of these caverns are really tiny and they're kind of well hidden. So when I was a kid, I'd actually get lost in this bit because you really have to rummage around. You don't want to fall down there. If you fall down there, there's absolutely nothing down there for you. Trust me, nothing at all worth going down there for, and you'll probably die unless you have a jetpack. So you want to jump over this very carefully, platforming 101 here. So unfortunately he won't die, he'll probably fly back up in a minute, so I will wait to kill him. But I love the noises as well. Like, they do a really great job in Duke Nukem 3D of sort of adding atmosphere through like audio cues and sort of changing the feel of these levels. You can see the door to the alien ship there. I can hear there's some aliens flying around. There's two. I think there's a third one. I can still hear. Yeah, there is. But then we come inside here, and it contrasts completely because it's not red, it's green, and it's like now you're really entering into like the belly of the beast here. You're entering into like a completely different area. And like, I love, for example, that the door there just opens like they're expecting you to come in. Like they know that you're here. So, as well, like as we drop down this hole here, we want to make sure we try and line this up because there's two of those secret sort of compartments here that we can grab ammo for, which very useful. Because we don't have a jetpack, it's actually going to be quite hard to get back up there. Now if we click the wall there's actually a secret exit behind there. Now, until the 20th anniversary edition, you couldn't get in there without using the no clip, and it actually takes you to a level that's not in the roster, but I'll be showing you that in a bit, so don't worry about that. Now, these doors will shut behind us here. Now, as a kid, I didn't, but my sister managed to find a way to get back out the doors, and so it actually made this boss fight a lot easier. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, this guy like chews through your health if you're not careful. Like, his chain gun attack is like devastating if you don't have any armor. Like, you can see here that like I'm running around trying to grab all this health and ammo, but he's still like giving my health a good run for its money. This level gives you a lot of health, and it's kind of fun because you need it. If you come in here with like anything less than 100 health and no like med pack on standby, you're gonna have a very bad time. But yeah, as you can see, eventually he takes all your damage. Love this.
I'm Duke Nukem, and I'm coming to get the rest of you alien bastards.
Nice. So yeah, that's the end of Hollywood Holocaust, or is it? So what I'm going to be doing, because for those who don't know, in the 20th anniversary edition of this game, they actually made it possible to access another level that's in the first episode set, and I'm actually going to play that next after this because I want to sort of show that level off, because I don't think a lot of people will even know that it exists. But as you can see, we're getting the text crawl for the story here, and this sets up the second episode pretty nicely because it sort of takes us into space. We don't sort of fight in LA anymore, and yeah, I love this episode. This episode's really fun experience. Like, there's a reason why Hollywood Holocaust is held up with such esteem. It's just a fun episode all around. It's very hard to hate on it, in my opinion. We did miss some secrets there, but it doesn't really matter. So now what I'm going to do, we're going to dive into the 20th anniversary edition of Duke Nukem, and I'm quickly going to show you that secret I was mentioning earlier. This is where the shrink ray shoots from, but you also get to see this message on the wall from the levels editor, which is pretty fun. You're not supposed to be here. So while we're in the 20th anniversary edition here, I want to sort of just show you what I meant when I said earlier, this is how I used to fight the boss when I was a kid. So the further you back away from this door, it sort of shuts. If you use the steroids, you can actually get back outside, and once you've done that, the door won't close again automatically. So I just kind of run around here, and then like instead of fighting him head on where he just chews for your health, you sort of draw him to that door, and then you see how devastating those like grenades that he fires are. If you draw him to this door, it's actually a lot easier to sort of shoot him without taking too much damage, because there's a bunch of ammo out here as well that you can sort of run and collect. Where is he? Hey, come on. I gotta show the nice people. This is a very obscure way of how we used to do this boss in our house. But yeah, you can just sort of cheese it, and if you come behind here, yeah, there's a secret exit here. So it's interesting because in every version of this game up to the 20th anniversary, you had to no-clip through that wall to get to that secret exit, unless you were playing the multiplayer. But in the 20th anniversary, it's there, and you can pretty much just avoid the Battle Lord if you really don't want to. So we're going to dive into the N64 version of this level now, and there are a few notable changes that we have to kind of talk about as we're making our way through the level, but I'll tackle those as we make our way there. The first one was at the start, when that enemy was on the right hand side and not the left hand side. I don't know why, but I noticed that like when I first played this level, especially because I played it right after playing the PC version, and I have no idea why they felt the urge to swap the side of that enemy. If anyone can come up with a good theory in the comments, let me know. But as you can also see, the skybox is still the daytime one, so it lends this level a very different atmosphere, because it's not nighttime when you're here, it's actually like middle of the day. So we are going to drop down here. Again, I love how this level gives you the choice on which direction you want to go. As you can see here, you can just sort of run towards the blue key and grab it and make your way to the back end of the level if you really want to. But why do that when you can sort of explore and have a bit of fun with the secrets in this level, because there's a lot of secrets in this level. We'll take you down. I guess I like this episode as well because, as I've mentioned in the previous episodes, I like how there's a progression. I feel like this whole episode is just one long escalation towards this level and the boss fight at the end of it. It feels like you're actually kind of, you know, working your way towards something, which is pretty cool. And it's something that a lot of FPSs around this time didn't quite manage to get right. So let's jump back up here. I cannot imagine having to do all this on an N64 controller. Like, I just cannot. But again, there's a pig cop around the corner here. We want to grab the pipe bombs just in case we need them. But you can see that at this point at least, this level is very faithful to what we saw in the PC version. There's not too much of a deviation going on. I guess I also find this version kind of quirky because they obviously took out all of the naughty references, like the adult club earlier on in level 2, and they've taken out all of Duke's like really dirty lines, which is kind of interesting because it means they've had to come back and re-record them. So listening to some of his new lines is pretty interesting. I also like the explosion effects in this one. I know that polygon sort of explosions are an acquired taste, but I do kind of like that they have a bigger feel in this version. Take care of you. So I didn't show this in the PC one, but obviously there's a little crack here where you can sort of get a glimpse into like the hellscape you'll be going into soon. and when we're down there I'll point out from the other side. But again, it's the use of shadows in this area. It's the use of shadows and lighting and different sorts of ways that they use to kind of make this area feel like it's dangerous, like it's like you shouldn't be here. It just feels like a lot of thought was put into these levels and kind of making sure that there's enough detail for you to understand like what you're looking at here. And I appreciate it. I think that when you look back at a lot of the first-person shooters from this era, there wasn't always that level of care taken. And I think that's where Duke Nukem really stands out from the crowd. And why I kind of prefer it to games like Quake, where like maybe some of that detail just doesn't quite translate. But one day I'll get around to doing Quake. So again, this room is very similar to what you'd expect. Grab the atomic health there. So again, you can look out back on the previous part of the level. There's not much else you really want to do in that area. And we're back in this area. So, one of the big problems with Duke Nukem 3D as well is that sometimes like the game kind of glitches out. So sequences like this, for example, and at the end of the level as well, when you drop into the alien ship and go down to the Battle Lord, on the PC version, there's very rare occasions where that doesn't actually work and the trigger doesn't work, so you end up kind of stuck. And I guess that's one of the disadvantages to having so many like scripted sequences like this in your levels, because, oh god, please don't squish me, is that sometimes they break. I also want to talk about something that really annoyed me playing this version of this level. We'll talk about it in a second, but we're going to hit it now anyway, so I may as well talk about it. Once you drop down here, you can't come back up. So in the PC version, there's like a little staircase here where you can actually get back up. And for some reason, in the N64 version here, they've taken that staircase away, so you can't get back up to the first part of the level unless you like go through this secret over here. I think that is like the most asinine design choice. I don't understand why they did it. The only reason I can think they did it was to add like relevancy to this secret here, but it just feels so silly. You just saw that crack there where you could look back through. That was where we looked in upon earlier on. But you can also see in this version as well, they've kind of toned down the lighting in this area. So in the PC version, we were bathed in this like red light here, and like everything was just sort of in that red color. But here it's like very muted, and I can't decide like if they did that because they wanted to make it easier for people to see in this area, or if it just was a technical issue of some kind. Either way, I kind of don't like it. Oh, of course. I won't lie, I've never really played Duke Nukem 64 before this playthrough here, so seeing some of these changes is very fascinating to me. But as I mentioned earlier on, this secret is still here, and it's surprising that this is here because a lot of the women have been removed, like scantily clad women have been removed from this version. But what's even more fun is that you can't actually kill her in this version, so your bullets just kind of go right through her. No idea what the reference here is to, but you go girl, you rave at the end of the world, you do you. But we're going to be heading towards the end of the level here, and as I said, I don't think there's that much difference in this version here, but you can definitely tell that like some little changes have been made, and I personally feel that they kind of take away from the experience overall. It really just depends on how you feel about colored lighting, I guess. It's very much more muted here. So we're gonna head up here. So, interestingly, they've actually made the inside of the cavern a lot darker as well, so the alien ship kind of pops a bit more against the background there, which, interesting choice. But yeah, there's a lot here from the PC version. I think it's a very faithful recreation of it. But this is kind of what I mean here, like, when you're kind of like looking around, some of these caverns are quite hard to spot, so I don't know, like, I get that it's supposed to be kind of like a tight squeeze down here, but like it also feels like some people may miss that. But as you can see, you don't want to fall down here again. What's this? Missile launcher. Oh, okay, that's new. Oh, okay, so this is basically the RPG from the PC version. Interesting. Oh, you can hear the tell there. That would have been bad. So, I guess that means we've got the RPG for the rest of this level, which is pretty fun. Let's head up here. Take out the enemies here. I'll make sure to kill these ones just so they don't kind of follow me through the level. Just want to be careful, don't want to get blown up by my own grenade there. Ow. So yeah, it's all very similar to the PC version here. And as we kind of make our way towards the Battle Lord here, we just want to line ourselves up again so we can drop down and... Oh, this is new. So, does this mean that the Battle Lord is its own level? I guess it does. That's an interesting change. I'm guessing that there was some technical reason why this had to happen in this way. So, technically, this is a different level. Even... Oh, that means we can't grab the... Oh, we can't. So it looks like they're still there, but I don't have a jetpack to get back up. And there's no secret exit there, so, I like they put a grenade launcher there. Like, they know that if you die, you're kind of screwed. So they give you a grenade launcher. I'm actually going to save it here, because I don't know if anything else is different from this point on. Okay, so that door opened really quickly. Like, I'm just looking, can we actually... I don't know if we can even get up there. Well, can't use that trick there, can I? Because the game literally was like, nope, door shut. So, here's the Battle Lord in N64's glory. Very interesting that this is its own level. So you can see as well, they've taken out all the women that you could kill there. You had to kill them to get to the items, but they've obviously on the N64 version that's not going to fly. Make sure I've got the med pack ready here. Okay, and he's dead. Lovely. So we get a slightly different ending sequence here as well, where we can kind of see Duke kind of exploring the alien spacecraft. It's very fascinating that they split this into two levels. I'm assuming, like I said, it's something to do with hardware limitations or the boss trigger not being able to work on the N64 version or whatever. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the N64 version compared to the PC version. Do you like the Abyss? Do you hate the Abyss? And what did you think of this episode overall? I will be doing the super secret level in the next video, so don't worry about that, and I'll catch you next time.